Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody's here in the house, in the hizzy, on the Verbal Nectar podcast, hanging out in the movie dojo with your boy, PhatSamuraiGuy, chilling with the cast and the director from the Crow Night Watch short film. What is going on? I am happy that you guys are here to hang out with us today. How is everybody doing? Kyle, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. I need some sleep.
You need some sleep. We got in the house Alex. That's right. She's under the weather. She will recover because she's strong. She's badass, just like her character in the movie. She didn't really have to act. That's her in real life. That's right. Don't mess with her. All right. She's pretty good with a shotgun. So we have Alex here, who played the character of Isabel. We have Aaron. That's right, the badass villain, who plays Eddie. And we have Jasmin, who is the co-writer and action director as well. And Kyle, he had some some tips on how to make the movie. He's here.
I just stood around and yelled at people.
Yeah, he just sat around and yelled at people. There we go. But it is awesome to have all of you here in the Crow Night Watch party we got going today. Oh, we got the Movie Dojo Army showing up here in chat right now. What's going on? We got Vionel here, Mia G, Nase, Trado in the house, John Martinez, Evelina. Oh, yeah. Ethan, Jake Hall, the badasses are slowly trickling in to hang out with us. And we're going to have some fun today talking movies, action movies. Before we get into the Crow Night Watch, I want to know, Kyle, favorite action movie? Go. Right now. I'm putting you guys on the spot.
SPL Paradox.
What is it?
Flat out. SPL 1 and SPL Paradox.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. We could cheat. We'll throw in 2. We'll cheat. All right.
That shares my number 1.
All right. Aaron, 2 of your favorite action movies. Go.
Oof.
Frozen? Did you just say Toy Story?
No. Police Story.
Oh.
Okay.
Police Story
Okay.
is good too.
Okay, Police Story. Police Story. You have another one?
That's the only one I can think of right now.
Hey, that's perfect. You can't get any better than that. Jasmin.
Oh, that is so hard. But I always think it's like, oh man, you're asking the action editor? Fuck. Probably Fung 1 and 2.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about. The Legend of Fung 1 and 2.
Yep.
Those are classics.
Yep.
Alex, some of your favorite action movies.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
I'm so basic. I was just gonna say like Rush Hour.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, that's good.
Fine.
But I'm so embarrassed because you guys are like
Hey.
saying really cool ones, and I'm like, I love Rush Hour.
Wait, yo,
That's
Rush
fine.
Hour is definitely on the list. Like, we only
Hey.
got 2, okay?
Hey,
Why is
it's
not
all
2 or
good.
3?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you said Rush Hour 3, I would have been concerned. But no,
Okay.
Rush Hour
Cut her off.
Rush Hour is fine. That's fine. That's acceptable. Awesome. All right. So let's get into it a little bit here. Inspirations. So Kyle, we'll leave you for last. All right. Aaron, what inspired you to kind of get into the film or TV industry or martial arts stuntman industry? What was some of your inspirations?
Inspirations.
Besides Police Story.
I guess it's just because I'm very new to this industry.
Yeah.
I was like, because I've just graduated from uni. I think it was 2 years. Yeah, 2 years ago. And I was looking for a job, and I just somehow found myself being an extra in one of a Hallmark film.
All right. Hey, you got to start somewhere. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and like casting notice, they're looking for Chinese people. So I'm like, oh, is this a sign? Let me sign up, and that's how I got into it. And then someone told me to join a Facebook group in Winnipeg. Just like they post casting notice, and that's how I found Kyle. I shoot my shot, and here I am.
Nice. Love it. Awesome. Jasmin, what's some of your inspirations that inspired you to be a writer and all that?
Oh, man.
And action director.
That's a big question. Well, first it was just sort of being a fan, growing up with those like classic Chinese action films. And then I just noticed a trend that I didn't like so much, sort of with what Hollywood was doing with action films. I understand that it had to do with like cost and everything. Like they didn't want to take the time to train everybody to the level that they used to. And then so, you know, the action scenes were starting to seem strange to me, and they didn't have the narrative backing anymore. So it was just sort of like I missed that. And then also just, I guess in general, there was also, you know, there wasn't as much representation for women anymore. So there was also a gap there that I really wanted to fill. And it was sort of like, you know, you have to write the roles. Like the roles have to be there. It doesn't matter if there's people willing to play the role if the role doesn't exist. So I had to, that was sort of like, I need to write it myself. And then just to, like fill that gap that I was seeing for representation. And also as somebody who really understands how martial arts and action can carry a narrative, because that was also sort of missing. You have these really, really good storytellers that, you know, might not understand what a weight shift means in an engagement. So, you know, even if you're a really good director, if you don't understand how martial arts work or how fighters think, then how are you supposed to direct the audience's attention? So I realized I also had to direct as well. It was like, I need to be able to get that performance out of my actors, because it's not just being able to do the cool stunt move. I also need you to get that. I need you to get the emotion of it. So yeah, that was sort of where I was like, well, I gotta do that, I guess, because I don't see anybody else doing it.
Yeah. You need emotional content.
Yes.
Not anger. What movie is that from?
I mean, it is there. Yes.
What movie is that from?
Why?
Kyle, don't say anything. What movie is that from?
Anyone answer but me.
Aaron?
If you fail this answer,
what movie is
you
that from?
no
What line?
friends.
The line I just said. Do you know?
I'm
No?
gonna slap you when you get back.
This is by Bruce Lee from Enter the Dragon. That's all. It's all good. I'll let it pass. You said you like Police Story. I'll let it pass. All right. That's awesome, Jasmine. That is awesome. Keep doing your thing. I'm rooting for you. I'm in your corner. Alex, what inspired you to become an actress and get in there?
I think I've always been a drama queen.
That is like the greatest answer ever. That is like perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
Done. No. Yeah. Since I was like in high, like not in when I was in regular school, like the little people's, what's it called? I don't know what the little people's school.
Elementary school.
Yeah. When I was in
The little
elementary
people's?
school.
Okay.
It's because when we went to school, it was like kindergarten to grade 12. So we didn't have it split up.
Right.
So I didn't know what it was called.
Okay.
Yeah, but when I went to school, I was always in like little plays. And then when I was growing up, I just wanted to do so many things. Whenever there's a job, I was like, oh, I want to do that job. I want to do this job. I want to do this. And then I realized when I graduated high school, I was like, wait, I could do all of that if I was acting. I could be anything, anywhere, anytime. And it really intrigued me. And I've been heavily pursuing it since.
Yeah. Awesome. I like that. She got the bug, man. She got the bite. That's it. Hey, you keep doing it. I'm rooting for you as well. But, you know, I already made arrangements with Kyle. He's going to have me in his next movie. And, you know, it's all arranged. You know, Aaron's going to kill me on screen. You know, Jasmine's going to do the action director part of it. So, you know, it's all written in stone.
Sure that
Kyle, you knew this, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Totally.
What'd you say, Jasmine?
I said, yeah, I'll make sure that your death looks spectacular.
Sweet. Yes. Yeah, no death off screen stuff.
No, we're going to show everything now.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Kyle, inspirations, my friend.
Definitely it was growing up watching Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan movies and Jet Li movies. And right around when I was like in high school, I wanted to be a filmmaker, but I didn't have a camera or anything else. And then once I got into university and I actually bought like a handy cam and made my very first film, and no one's ever gonna see that. Shut up, Aaron. I know what you're thinking. Shut up. But no.
You'll show us when we're not live. You'll show us.
No. I'm gonna show it on at my funeral, so that way everyone just locks the door and everyone has to suffer during the eulogy and watch this final film. But no, what happened was I chose to actually want to pursue my filmmaking career of just learning how everything was done properly. So actually going to university, learning about how shots were done, how to organize everything, and even trying to figure out my own way of filmmaking and communicating with the crew just throughout my web series, other short films. And then in between like Vendetta and The Line, Jazz and I, we were working together. And then after The Line, Jazz and I really sat down and really talked to each other about what did we want as a goal for our own films, our own stories, and how we needed to make sure that the stories, the characters, and just the film overall product need to be good for everyone to know that this is what we want to put out there. But everyone just wants to go with what's cool now and everything else. We're basically not doing that. We just wanted a good product that everyone could just sit back and say, you know what, this was good. Let's spread it out there as much as we can. But other than that, like, we did date nights. Man, that was 2 years ago. Can't believe that.
Like, wait, was it? I feel like it was longer than that, but like, yeah.
No, it was 2 years ago in 2019.
What?
And we did that in winter
COVID
also.
just like messed up with my sense of time for like everything. Like, that was a year ago. No, that was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, where we did that in winter also, and that was Jazz's first directorial debut for her film, and
all right,
and basically her first also acting wise.
Yeah, I mean, I'd done like tiny other things, like I'd done classes and stuff, but yeah, that was definitely also an acting debut for me.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
And
so much respect to Kyle, because we both did the like directing and acting at the same time, and that's like so hard to do.
Yeah, honestly, like, but mostly I made sure that she knew exactly what she wanted in her film. That once we started working on Night Watch, we knew that and we'll get into it. It's like we knew that this film had to be something that we wanted to be not near perfect, but just enough that we were satisfied that we did something different to the whole series and in general. And honestly, like, that's what we want to keep doing, is just keep trying to do something different while having memorable moments that are worth like watching over and over again.
Right. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Nice. Love it. Love it. So I've, got a chance to watch The Crow Night Watch. It was garbage. Oh my God. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. No. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
Was it worse than Wicked Prayer?
Oh God. Those Crow sequels don't exist. Anyway, but The Crow Night Watch does. That's what I'm talking about. No, I really, really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Props to all of you. You guys were awesome in it. You guys were badasses. That's right. And I really, really enjoyed it. And we're going to get into it here. I got some shots here. Hold on one second. Yeah, really, really enjoyed it. It scratched the itch. That's right. That's our thing here. It scratched the action itch. I was pleased. And going back to what you just said, Kyle, I liked it because it was different. Because I've seen other Crow projects, and it's the exact same thing over and over and over again.
Right.
But I love the mask in this movie, man. It's got a little bit of the Five Deadly Venoms vibe to it. Like, I like how it's totally different. It's inspired by The Crow, but you guys are doing your own thing with it. And that, going back to what Jasmine kind of said earlier, kind of poked at, that's what we need more of in Hollywood. You know what I mean? Something, maybe take inspirations, but let's use those inspirations, but let's make our own thing and make it memorable and badass, right?
Yeah.
We need more of that, right? That's what we need.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get into talking about this. This is a lot of fun. So chat, Movie Dojo Army, everybody watching. That's right. Make sure you check out The Crow Night Watch. I'm plugging it early, son. We ain't got to wait to the end. I'm that excited. All right. Make sure you guys check it out. And then Kyle will reveal some interesting information at the very end, towards the end. And then you guys will have some more fun with that. But yeah, so let's go ahead and go look at some photos here. Have some fun checking this out here.
Yep.
All right. So inspirations again, segue. So let's go ahead and click on this, and Kyle, you can take it away.
Definitely.
So we got shout out to Lauren, who plays Caitlin. She did a great job in the film as well. So let's take a look at this.
So
go ahead, Kyle.
Basically, this was the side-by-side comparison is Caitlin from the comic, and we definitely made something different with her. Originally, Jazz was it me that actually came up with the idea of making her almost half Asian and half
No,
white?
I'm pretty sure that was there was like sort of like racial issues that were brought up in the original comic.
Yeah.
So it's just that we didn't have as much time to sort of get into that subplot because it has to do with the main character being like an Asian man, sort of, and he's well trusted, or he's trusted in his community, right? The sort of Chinese immigrant community. So when he gets, whatever,
murdered.
I mean, it's a Crow movie. He dies. Okay.
Might as well say it. He dies.
But, like,
Spoilers.
He dies. Like, okay, it's a Crow movie. What do you expect? So his partner, who is Caitlin, the fact that she's half makes it sort of more difficult, or they're sort of, it's interesting because they don't really trust her as much.
Yeah.
Because she's not really Chinese to them.
No.
But she is. So it's actually like, if you know anybody who is biracial, that is, I mean, Alex is biracial. You might be able to speak on that a little bit. Sort of difficult place to live, so that you don't really feel like you're in either of these communities.
Yeah.
It definitely was there in the comic, and we wanted it
sort of in the film.
Yeah.
Prevalent.
But it's like, because we didn't have time to sort of stretch that too much. We were just like, we're just going to make her a total outsider. So she's going to be white.
And we also, like, once we casted Lauren, we discussed the fact that as most Hollywood Asian films have done, which was the white savior trope, we definitely looked extensively about that trope of, like, this is not a white savior trope. Let's make sure that we're avoiding that. But because, spoiler alert, that Alex's character actually, like, saves herself in the end. But more or less that we wanted to make sure that there was that type of character that knew about the world, but even then, when the case is given to her new partner Ken, she even entrusts Ken, like, you're not part of this world either, so this is what you're going to expect. And also the side fact that making Caitlin the main character for the film was a pretty early decision we had early on, like right when we were like prepping it. Right during the outline, I was trying to figure out, how do I not make Mark, the Crow character, the main character, because it is, as most of the Crow films and the stories are always like, guy or woman dies, next thing you know, brought back by the Crow, revenge, story's over. And we're just like, okay, what was the actual story? And then when I reread the comic book, oh yeah, by the way, Daryl, thanks a lot. Daryl's our DOP, and he's the one that influenced the whole story, saying, why don't you do it? I was like, whatever. But I reread the whole comic from back to front to end, and then I said, okay, it is Caitlin that's the main character here. She'll serve like as the audience guide to like understanding what's going on in the story. And that's what I pitched to Jazz to see, how can we make this story work in that sense. And then we took 2 weeks to outline the story, and then 10 drafts later, we finally came up with the proper story.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was just going from Caitlin's point of view as the person who is kind of the one putting pieces together. She's perfect to have she's the one that's discovering the universe along with the audience. So it was just kind of, at least it seemed more interesting to us to follow her, at least initially, as opposed to Mark, because that's like, or like the Crow character.
Yeah, actually, I like that though, because it makes his character more mysterious.
Yeah, exactly. That was absolutely
that.
part of it for sure. We were like, we'll just have you. He's just kind of the shadow, and it's, I guess, taking a little bit of inspiration from like creature films.
Yeah.
So you just get flashes of him in the beginning.
Yeah.
Obviously, until it ends at the cool, badass action part of it, where you get to see all of it. But you don't want to, just leading up to it, I didn't want to give away too much, right?
Yeah.
Nice. We got a comment here from Evelina. Loved Night Watch. Great job, everyone. There you go.
Aww.
Shout out from the comment section there.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Lena.
All right, let's keep rocking and rolling here with some more behind the scenes photos here. Who is this badass?
So,
watch out.
I don't know.
All right, so this one's really, really interesting, because the original comic had Mark and Anita, the Crow character had 2 twin daughters, Annabelle and Catherine. So, and they were actually children because the original comic had them being taken and put into a child pedophile trafficking ring. So it was kind of hard to try and figure out, okay, we're going to do this story. What are we going to change up here? And we changed Annabelle's name to Isabel because I even talked to Jazz about this. Like, does Annabelle sound like a Chinese American name? And I was like, it's mostly Isabel, right? And we changed it to that, where we did not want to do like 2 daughters. We had to do just the 1 daughter. And Catherine actually ended up being played by Alexis, on one of the other actresses that's on the film. And we felt that kind of dynamic where one gave up, which is Catherine's character, while Isabel, who's a cop's daughter, we knew that she had to be like the strong one, trying to figure out how to get everyone out, because like her father definitely taught her all this, and she's gonna try with her life to actually get out of it.
Right.
Like, nonetheless,
it was sort of a way to allude to like Isabel and her father's relationship without having a lot of time to really build it up. So it's like, you know, that she's learned from him. So it was just kind of like a subtle way to build their relationship.
Yeah.
And they have that foil between the two. We wanted her to just like, so having somebody who's sort of been in this horrible situation and has given up on themselves, to have her like foiled against that. So it just sort of makes her seem a little bit more like mentally where she would be, having a father that she did.
Well, it's nice to have a sibling here, or a daughter of a main character that's not weak and always.
Yes, that was also. Thank you for picking up on that. That was also why.
I'm so tired of seeing that. I was like, the action, usually the male is like the hero, and he's got to save his daughter. I get it. I love Commando. Don't get me wrong, but it's nice.
Or like True Lies.
True Lies. It's fine. But it's nice to see the daughter like, no, motherfucker, I'm grabbing the shotgun and I'm shooting all you motherfuckers, and I'm gonna rally all the other girls. We all gonna fight back and escape. That throwing punches, rolling, all this stuff. So I was like, that's all. Like when she was fighting back, I was like, that's what I'm talking about. So I like that. But let me ask this while it's in my head really quick. Did everyone get proper gun training?
Yes, we did.
We did. Yes. We went out of our way to talk to the local firearms coordinator here.
You had to go to a range, or how'd you train the cast here?
Dave Brown, who is our local firearms safety coordinator, who has done all the films that come here into Winnipeg, he obliged us to come have the whole cast and the certain crew members that are dealing with the firearms to come out, and we all sat in for like a good 2 hours, so that way everyone could actually handle the firearms properly, and just even like know how to fire a firearm. And there was like this nice like little gadget that they had where you fire at a target and it shows this is how you're holding it, this is where you're veering off, and everything else. We were like, that pretty interesting. And then our props guys let the cast members handle the firearms that they were going to be using. Like watching Alex and Alexis like handle the first shotgun, and just pretty soon like they got used to it.
Was it tough, Alex, at first?
I remember the first scene that we shot with the shotgun, and I had to run away with it. I was running with it like with one hand in the air, and they were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't know how to run with a shotgun. It's my first time."
Muscle control, Alex. Come on.
I learned how to shoot it, but I didn't learn how to run. It was pretty funny. Everyone just laughed right after I did that. I remember.
Okay, I gotta share this.
Go
actually,
ahead.
So someone in the chat actually asked this. Artisan74 asked, has James Obar seen the movie yet? So I'm going to share this as of today.
Okay.
So James Obar is the creator of the whole Crow series.
Okay, right.
I have shown it to Christopher Golden, who wrote this specific one, The Crow Waking Nightmares, which we based this film off of. And he said he loved it. Whereas James Obar, that guy is hard to get a hold of. until last night when Jazz and I we were hanging out. By the way, guys, this film was actually released last night to a certain group,
Right.
and James Obar actually liked it.
What? All right.
The actual creator of The Crow liked this film.
Yeah.
Holy wow!
Nice.
I'll take that as a win.
Honestly,
That's
Yeah.
a win right there. Nice. How cool is that? That's awesome. That's pretty awesome news, man. That is awesome. Also, people are asking, where we gonna get that shirt? What the Night Watch shirt, Kyle? Where?
So the place that actually made this was actually made for the cast and crew at the time.
Okay.
When we were done filming, just because we were going into COVID, which we'll talk about later on. But yeah, everyone that came out during the winter, that was my fault. But
I mean, the aesthetic was there. Like, it was
Yeah.
kind of worth it, but also like horrible.
yeah. And the fact is, the place that I actually got these printed at actually closed down. But if
Right.
anyone wants to rally to actually make a store, where I saw Trado actually asked, where can he get the posters to? I'm like, I'll try and figure that out, because if anyone wants like merchandise of this,
Teespring, man. Teespring. That's
Teespring,
it.
okay, I'll need to talk to them.
That's all you
We'll
gotta do.
talk later about that then.
Yeah, we'll talk later about that. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Aaron, martial arts background. What is your martial arts background?
Muay Thai and boxing.
Woo!
That's all. Yeah.
Love it. Love that.
Mhm.
Nice. How about you with the gun training? Was that first for you as well?
Oh yeah, first time handling a gun, first time touching it. It was surreal. I love it. I might start
Nice.
getting my
Jazz.
gun license and going
All
to
right.
favelas.
So you're hooked. Nice.
I'm hooked. I love guns now.
Nice.
Jazz, you
So
gonna-
you're
you
the
gonna say
next
it?
John Wick, man. You
Yeah.
see videos of you on YouTube taking out the targets.
Yep.
Nice. Really loved your character, Aaron. Your character was actually kind of making me laugh, but in a good way. Like just such a smarmy villain. Just really, just loving every minute of being evil. And just kind of, and you had this little, you smiled of several times, which was what was making me laugh. I was like, this guy gets it. This guy understands how to have fun playing a villain. Like, I really enjoyed it. Even when the Isabel character first takes the pistol, you were already talking shit. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, I took your dad out. Like, I took your mom out. Like, come on now. Like, just a matter of time. Put the gun down, get in the truck. Like, you were making me laugh, man. But in a good way. I was enjoying you being eval and having fun with it. But yeah, let's talk about his character, Kyle.
So originally, the Eddie Ko character was not actually an actual character in the original comic. There was only the character Little Ko, which is the one that's being dragged by his father. And Jazz and I knew that once we were writing this film, we had to figure out what we needed, like that main henchman, that big henchman that would fight everyone, whereas like the main boss is just gonna run off and try and get away. So we tried to figure out who can we actually have as like this main henchman that's the main foil for the protagonist and everyone else. And like there was really no main protagonist except as Rush Hour 2 so eloquently put it, it was follow the rich white man. So in the original comic, it was a white businessman like asking for the child human trafficking, if I remember correctly, Jazz.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and we even said that would that actually work if we did this film that way? And we said no, it wouldn't, because like if this is a Asian community, they would keep it within their Asian community to try and take out who's ever doing this. It should be like handled within, whereas a rich white man would just brush it off and just say, yeah, I didn't do none of that. Look what's happening now. But no, like we definitely wanted that. And I think I came to Jazz about the Eddie character being a knife guy, like seeing how like, okay, what exactly do we want Eddie to be like proficient in, and how is it going to be like this kind of sadistic person? And Jazz, I know you have a little bit to talk about Eddie on your end.
Yeah, it was like we wanted that, I guess going back to like the original Crow movies where you had those sort of almost like comically evil, like those that sort of group of people that would just tear somebody apart and love it. And yeah, that really sort of sadistic type of villain. And a knife person somebody who really, really likes fighting with knives, they're kind of like that because they need to be in your face when you're bleeding all over their hands. Like they like that feeling. So it was sort of right. There's sort of like that perfect level of like menace that we wanted. And then to kind of, have sort of our main hench be somebody who, really sort of gets off on the violence as to compare to the main character who's, a cop, and like to see him pushed to the level where he would enjoy hurting someone, but then pulling himself back. Because that's sort of the other thing that was special about this particular Crow story that we liked, where most of it's sort of like revenge porn, right? Like, this person was horribly wrong, and they come back and they murder everybody, and it's cool and stuff. But this particular character actually rejects the revenge because once he realizes that his daughter is still alive, he has something to live for. And then he realizes that the actual sort of violence, that sort of aggression, isn't really helping him grieve. Like it's just hurting more people. And that's what the Crow wants, right? That's the whole point of that supernatural creature. It just wants more souls. So this particular main character rejects that. And so we wanted to have that sort of person to sort of at first falls into the, I just want to hurt people because they hurt me. And then have him be like, no, that's not right. And then to have him or directly fighting somebody who embodies that type of person.
Right.
It was just sort of like the perfect villain for him.
Yeah. So Aaron, what was your inspirations for Eddie? Besides what Jasmine just said, was it pretty much what she just said? Or did you pick from other movie villains that you're like, let me twirl the knife while I'm sitting down here?
You sent him a bunch of reference material.
I did send him a bunch of references.
Oh, okay. What did he send you, Aaron?
Yeah, go ahead,
Aaron. I forgot most of the movies that he said, but I watched all of it.
Yeah. Which ones did you send him, Kyle?
I saw The Devil.
That one's my favorite. Yeah.
The Choi Min-sik character, the main villain from that one, and Killers was another one. The Japanese character, but just I don't want to say it like this, but Aaron went almost full method with it because he did have the knife in his hand almost like 24/7 when he was training and just enjoying feeling it and just twirling it around just so.
So was that the first time you used the knife in a film?
Yeah,
Aaron.
It was my first time.
Well, I never would have noticed. You were pretty natural with it, man. Like you were just. Like I was like, oh, because when I was like, oh yeah, that guy's got some knife training.
Shower with it.
What did you say?
He showers with it.
I eat my meals with it.
You're like, go practice.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Nice. That's awesome. That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. All right, let's talk about Kyle. Let's talk about your stunt double here.
Yeah, I know that guy was an ass.
Yeah, we're firing him. Never again.
Yeah, I know, right?
Good.
This guy sucked. No, so definitely you could see a complete difference of the comic book character and the film version because not slight. If everyone has seen the movie, the spoiler is the reason why the Crow character Mark wears a mask is because his eyes are gouged out. So when I really looked at him being like, I'll get into the mask thing later, but when going into the Mark character, it was more or less like, again, it was a basic Crow character. It was just revenge and everything else. But we knew that, okay, his main focus is he has to get his daughter back. And the only person that could do that with him is his partner, Caitlin. And with Caitlin, she could do it within the means of the law, while Mark could not do it. Can do it outside of the law because he's dead. Is anyone going to charge a dead guy, especially a dead police officer? No one's going to charge that, and no one's going to believe him. Just like, yep, you going to charge a dead guy? No. But what also came as an issue when trying to figure it out was we talked about, do we need an animal wrangler for an actual crow bird for the film, and it was like, this is gonna be done in winter, and we're gonna have a freezing crow. And I just thought, no, let's actually try and figure out the first time we see this character, and just like in the comic, he rejects doing the revenge portion for the crow to collect more souls and everything else. He wants to save his daughter, so that's where we had this ticking clock for Mark of when is his powers actually gonna just go away. So once you first see him seeing Caitlin in her home, this is that moment where they actually have that, like, Caitlin can't believe this is actually happening, and that Mark's alive-ish. But he explains to her, this is what's happening. I need your help to find Isabel. So when we got to that point, we knew that, okay, where is Mark going to be in terms of his powers fading away, and does he get that final moment with Isabel? That's really all his goal is to get Isabel safe and just out of harm's way. Right.
Copy that. And how long did it take to put on the makeup once it's revealed?
Okay, so Samantha Lacoste, great makeup effects artist, especially Jazz recommended her. Like, that took only like 20 minutes every time.
Yeah, okay.
Like 20 minutes. So whenever we knew that we had to do the scene with the gouged eyes, like, we would shoot. I would have Jazz shoot something else outside or somewhere around while being applied. So she would put the spearmint gum on, put the appliance on, and then start blending it in to make sure it looks like
that's it. Short and sweet. Whatever works, right?
And Aaron would just,
why
and the way we said it was just Aaron just like jabbed, like gouged my ass out, just like scrambled it in there. Is
there any bloopers or outtakes of you like doing your head like that and it just flies off or anything?
No, sadly, like
Sam's too good for that. She wouldn't.
Is there a blooper reel? Is there outtakes? That might be.
Sure there are outtakes, but I don't know, Kyle.
It wasn't enough to actually make
to put together.
Yeah, like there's actually a small deleted scene that we actually took out, but it's not even a big scene either.
Yeah.
You can just randomly release the scene of Isabel running with the gun.
dude, put that after the credits.
No.
He's like, no. Oh man, that's hilarious. Well, but since we're talking about your character, Kyle, inspirations for you.
So
to the performance part of it. Yeah,
the performance part wise was like, oh man, like, so as most people would know now, if they since the film is out, it is dedicated to a former producer friend of mine that passed away a year prior. And when I was like trying to put this film together, I understood exactly like the feeling that James O'Barr felt when he was writing the original comic, and even understanding like how the first film was made too, like the original Brandon Lee film. And I don't want to say I was like that sad. It was just more or less I had to channel all that energy of like grieving within me and try and portray like this character to be like not like Batman brooding like with the I'm Batman. I didn't want to do that. And even like, what was it? Our friend Brent, who portrays Ken, he suggested some ways to actually portray it, but more or less like Jasmine helped me out to try and flesh out how I needed to stand, how I needed to move, even right up to how we actually, when he starts losing his powers during the final fight, how those movements come from like you start seeing and then being blind, but also the side fact that you're actually trying to use the hearing and everything else, just touching around, trying to figure out where everything is and everyone is. And more or less like it helped out a lot to have Jasmine like direct how I would do this properly, even like telling me how I needed to portray, because being an actor and director at the same time, it does sometimes like you get too much like in your head going like, okay, I need to do this, and then when you're in front of the scene, it's like, did that look good? Let's do it again. And I didn't feel that. I'm glad that I actually have Jasmin to actually be my right hand to make sure that the performances were done properly. And then along the side fact that, yeah, even going into the whole like grieving process, compared to Aaron who went full method, I actually all I did before every scene was like listen to metal.
Yes.
I literally listened to like the same like Static X song over and over again just to get myself in the mindset. And then once I put on the mask, I'm like, all right, let's do it. and then we just go at it.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Nice, awesome. Were you nervous with that scene at the end with the finale and getting close to the third act with the shootout in the club? Were you nervous in that sequence when you just came out double guns ablazing like you're Chow Yun Fat? You know what I'm saying? I was like, what? Look at this
honestly,
dude.
Yes, I was literally, because every time a firearm is in my hand, every time I use it in front of a take, and then I would just give it back to our props guys, like, take it away from me. I don't want to touch it anymore. I even say that to everyone on the crew. Just like, okay, if you're done using the firearm, give it to him. And even our props firearms guys would just like grab it and like, okay, thank you. And it's like, all right, gun them up. And they would always show that it's empty beforehand. And like once there was like 2 days that we shot that club shootout scene, and because we had Lauren for 1 day, and then the second day was all the stuff with me.
Right.
All I remember was doing that scene was just, I don't know how to describe it. It was nerve-wracking because I had two guns in my hand, but it slowly started becoming more frustrating because the one gun in my hand kept like the slide kept coming back, and you can so see it in some of the takes because I'm shooting away with the one gun, and then I'm glad I have the other gun, so I'm like, you know what, screw this gun, I'll just do this, and then once I get to the one shot with Raymond, I'll just use this one gun right there. But no, it became more or less like Jazz and I, we had to talk about can it be readable if I take hits, or not even just taking hits like from the bullets, but even more or less like, am I just at that point of not giving a fuck about like, these guys are shooting me, I'm just gonna kill all of you. And because we tried two different variations of those takes, but other than that, like in the end, we wanted to portray like this character was gonna be just unstoppable to the end, to the point where he's going to find his daughter. And
right.
That's the mindset I had to get into, especially once the mask was on.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel more like I need to.
It's like Over the Top with Stallone with the baseball cap. You know, he has to turn it when he turns it around like this. It's like a switch. Yeah, that's it. Turned it on.
That was definitely like the moment that it was sort of like, okay, it's ramping up to the end, sort of.
Yeah.
And just to show that there's time ticking. He doesn't have time, so he's super desperate and he's angry and grieving.
Right.
But there's like this tiny sliver of hope, but he might not get there. So that's why you're right. He was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna take all these shots. I'm dead anyway.
Yeah.
That's it.
And definitely the scene where we when we were figuring out the scene, we didn't want to like do a shot for shot remake of the original nightclub scene. We said we wanted something almost a proper homage, not doing it shot for shot. But not only that, we took a nice reference page from the original comic book of the Crow Waking Nightmares, where the henchmen just shoot Mark down and his mask pops off. And that was when we knew that, okay, this has to be that one oh shit moment for the audience to realize that's why he wears the mask. Holy fuck. Yeah. And that's where we just wanted everyone in the audience to go like, okay, everyone's fucked now.
Nice.
So we definitely want that moment as a big reveal of why.
Right.
Yeah.
It worked too. It worked. It definitely worked. You got more people calling out merch here, Kyle. Jasmin, merch. You got Trado here saying he wants a poster. Come on, let's make it happen. Speaking of posters, I really enjoyed. Who did this for you? This is fantastic. This is a badass poster right here.
So her name is Janelle Esqueda, and I found her on Fiverr through my DOP Daryl. He referenced her on Fiverr, so that way, what happened was she did like a few of his posters back then for certain other shorts, and then when we were doing the line and then when we get to this, we had
Look
one
at this
day.
guy. Look at this guy right here. Yeah. Look at that. We got the smirk already. Yeah.
I got no comment on why
I'm gonna cut you. I'm gonna cut you, and you're gonna like it. That's
and
the
if you don't
face he's
like it,
got.
I'm gonna like it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna like it. Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
No, don't worry. And like we had one day where it was like one scene, even though it was like the most emotional scene between Alex and I and Mary, who plays Anita. But at the same time, we had this black backdrop. So our photographer, Heather, came out and I gave her a list of what exactly I needed for each poster. And everyone had to do these certain poses and everything else, understanding that this is a character that I need them to portray. And definitely the inspiration came from like SPL Paradox's marketing campaign. And then once I got all those photos all together, I sent them to Janelle to actually put the posters together. And I had references of like, okay, SPL Paradox, Sicario. And basically that's how we came up with the whole marketing campaign of this is just going to be not even just over the top like most movie posters are, where your eyes are just like darting forward and everything else.
Or they're really vanilla and generic. That's
Exactly.
a lot of posters now. Mainstream Hollywood posters, they're very generic, very just bland, you know.
And
but
that's why we definitely wanted something that your focus is center point, like just how the film is set up. Like everything is on center. Your eyes don't go anywhere else from top to bottom, left to right. But your your sight line is on the center, and you don't have to look anywhere else because you don't want to be doing this while watching.
That's why the posters in the 80s are the best. Okay.
Right?
Shout out to the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. Some of the best artwork ever, and some of the movies are like bad, like some of the straight to video movies. Or something. But the posters, like, I mean, the cover art's like, dude, this is gonna be awesome. But yeah, it's a lot. It's vanilla now. I just one of the nitpicks of mainstream Hollywood movies now. Even a lot of superhero flicks too. Very vanilla, generic, bland posters. It's like, come on, guys, you can do better than that. Very nice of you to feature your stunt double here.
I know, right?
Stunt double gets his own poster. That's very nice.
I know. What a jerk.
Well, you know, we had Alex talk about her embarrassing moment. So, do you guys have some embarrassing moments? Someone in chat just asked here. What's embarrassing moments on set? Besides your gun jamming or the slide, Kyle, do you have any others? And then we'll go. Is that yours, or do you have any more?
I would say that's mine. That was mine.
So that's why you went to one hand.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice. I thought you just ran out of bullets in one hand and just shot with the other. I didn't even notice. See? Yeah. Good filmmaking. Aaron, funny moments. Any embarrassing moments or funny moments you remember?
Okay. So, yeah, what I learned is like, you know, especially on minus 30 weather, it's good to, you know, make the film go as smoothly as possible, or else people have glare. Because there were a lot of times where I was like playing with a knife and I dropped it a lot of times because it was too cold, man. Alex, her glare, I can tell she wants to kill me.
Like, you dropped the knife, you ruined the take. Damn it, Aaron.
8 takes when Alex is coming in, and then next thing you know, I'm on the ground and I hear action, and then here comes Aaron, like knife close to my head. I'm like, oh God, Alex, help! I'm just like, oh my God, okay, act, and then I hear fuck, and Aaron's knife goes out of the corner. I'm like, we're all freezing here, Aaron. What the hell?
I remember that Aaron and I were gonna do like an outtake, I guess, when he was choking me out as a as
Oh
my
my-
character. What we planned to do, because we thought it was funny, I'd be like, "Oh no, daddy," or something. But we were too cold that we couldn't do it. Like we were so cold that we were just like, just get the scene over with. Just do it. Like I don't care about anything.
I don't care about.
Did you guys have to wear thermals underneath, or did
Yes,
you just
we
Yeah.
okay,
were
man?
all
help.
thermals.
Well, you have to have your
it
hands
didn't help,
on
huh?
gloves, like
No,
Man.
yeah,
We had to take them all, like not our thermals off. We had everything underneath our costumes, and then once like we had our jackets closed, and then all right, camera's ready. You guys ready? And we're like 5 more seconds, and then
Yeah.
it was that bad.
It's like
And me
shivering
and-
up until the point of action.
And me and Alex were talking about how like I'm gonna eat a lot of onions because during the last take she was like right next to me, so I wanted to like breathe in those bad breath.
Actually,
But we did get to do it.
No,
That's
like
hilarious.
once you're cold, you just forget about everything.
Yeah.
Like,
The only
just
thing
wanna
you're
get this
thinking of
over with.
is like, it's so cold. It's so cold.
Yes.
there
there
was
was,
def-
like, there was also that moment where like, and I wasn't there at first, but like, didn't you kick the door
Oh,
to
the-
the shipping container and it didn't open?
oh yeah, Alex.
Oh
Oh,
no!
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were like
Yeah.
action, and then boom. We're just like, did anything happen?
I didn't know it was so heavy.
I mean, you were also really cold, so
Yeah.
yeah. I had
Oh,
to.
that's funny.
I
So-
just
And you know-
remember Aaron filming that scene, like a fighting scene or something. Like it was perfect, and then he drops a knife, and I was like, Aaron! Like I'm screaming at the top of my lungs because I was so cold, and I was like, just do this scene because it happened so many times. I remember.
Even I got scared, man. Holy.
When you and Kyle were going at it, Aaron, did that help a little bit with the heat? I mean, with the cold, when you guys were kind of going through the motions, or you guys were still freezing?
Oh
With
well,
the
it helped a
choreography.
lot. It helped a lot.
It helped a little bit?
Yeah.
I actually have two stories. One,
Okay.
so I didn't have the appliances on, but I just had the mask on when we were doing our fight scene. And you think the hard part, the easiest part would be seeing through that mask, and seeing through the appliance would be harder. It's actually reversed because once the mask was on and we were doing our fight scene, the lenses started fogging up. So I'm like, oh fuck. And then once Jen said action and we had always go on count, so I'm like, oh god, please Aaron, just do this right. And then I'm like action, and then we run towards it. I'm like, I can't see shit. Everything was fogged. I'm like, oh god. And then I
Well,
just
it kind of worked because it was method. Your character was going blind. So it's perfect.
That's true. Yeah.
But I was lucky that we went on count. And the second kind of embarrassing thing, which I wish we got on camera, was day 2, where Aaron and I, we were blocking out with the rest of the extras on the loading dock scene.
Oh.
And what happened was I was telling all the extras that, okay, once you see Alex like wind up this headbutt and hit him, I need everyone to go with their guns up. So everyone ready? And the next thing I know, Aaron has his back to everyone. And I just like, okay, 3, 2, 1, bam. And everyone just pointed their guns. I'm like, oh shit, that is fucking scary. And everyone's like, turns out, oh shit. So everyone's just like seeing all these Asians with guns shooting at us. Like, okay. And then everyone else like, did anyone get that on the camera? Because I wish I wore my brown pants.
Oh
So,
my goodness!
That was
Right
actually
here
fun.
from the comment section, we got Flicks, Snacks, and Nicks and Knacks. Says honestly, this movie looks dope.
Thank
Great to see them on the show. So you get some more fans here.
you. Thank you.
All right. Everybody's busting up. We got laughing, crying emojis in the comment section right now. Oh, man. But yeah, any most memorable moments besides the ones you guys just talked about? You're like, I'm taking this to the grave. I can't believe this happened.
Taking this to the grave.
Alex, I don't actually say this, but
Oh my god. What? I'm scared.
I still have the picture of you doing this.
What?
I don't know if you remember because you were so cold, right? So you rushed into the like indoors, and there's a heater fan on the floor, and you just point your ass right into it, and you're just like this. Like, I'm so done. You're like, I'm so done.
I was cold. Don't judge me.
You're lucky you didn't fart. If you fart, I'm leaving the set.
Oh my god.
That's the most
I don't think.
memorable moment of the movie.
Yeah, go ahead, Jasmine. Oh, did you have one, Jasmine?
Oh no, it's just like for Aaron. I'm like, that's the most memorable moment for you in all of production was just like Alex like warming up her ass.
It's because I remember. I think I like sat on the snow or something, so my butt was really cold. So when I would go to the heater, I would just put my butt there.
Oh my goodness.
That was like our last night too. Like I think mostly what I remember throughout the whole production was the cold. Like,
Yeah.
Compared to everyone else, like everyone else who went to warm up, definitely during our what's called our ninth or our second day that we were at the shipping yard, and this was like when we had everyone, all the extras and everything else. We were blocking every scene out just to show everyone what's going on, and then everyone would run inside to warm up, and I was just out there. Even my DOP, Daryl, had to run inside because he was cold. I'm like, okay, I'll just stay out here, set up the lights. Make sure all right, is everyone ready to go? Daryl's like, I don't want to go back outside. I was like, how you guys doing? 5 more minutes. I'm like, okay, again, I'm going wait outside. Everyone's just like, why the fuck is he going back outside? I'm like, I need to make sure this is going to work. And then I'm just sitting there going, I am nuts being outside here. For fun. And we paid, like, once we, and not only that, every time we tried to shoot the scene between Alex and I, like the first night that we tried to shoot it there, it was too windy, so windy that we were just like, call it, yep, it's a wrap tonight. Then once we tried to figure out, okay, let's see if we could do it on the second last day, and no, it did not happen. And then there was the last day of filming, and that was like the last day where we had to get everything going, and again, it was the most coldest night ever. And here's Alex and I just like, okay, we finally killed Aaron. Aaron, do we have...
I'm dead.
Aaron's
He
dead.
had to lie in the snow to be a dead body. So
Yeah, just for
sitting
one
in the
shot.
snow.
Just for one shot. But here Alex and I are, and we were just like, okay, we need something to sit on. And we had our mat there, so we sat on the mat, and here we had all the heaters like near us, but it did not work. You could see us just freezing to the point where like, oh god, call action, and then we just stop shaking, and then we start acting. And then next thing you know, I'm like, all right, last shot is literally our hands holding the mask, and then I'm like, how's that look? And then, all right, that's it. And then run inside.
I do remember one, and I guess another sort of funny thing about that that particular take or that shot, because we obviously had to point them so that the wind was blowing on Alex's face.
Oh
so
my
her hair
God.
wasn't in her face, but that's worse because it's cold.
Yeah.
So she has all this cold air blowing in her face, and like we did our best to I think we had a hair dryer on her at one point, but like it wasn't really helping. And then I think we were maybe like 2 takes in, and then she's like, I can't act because my face is numb.
Yeah. I think like my face was definitely frozen. It's because at least Kyle, he was kind of like lying down in my lap, and I was like, okay, I'm protecting him from the wind. But me, my face, I have to look up directly at the wind.
Oh man.
And my face was numb. That was so funny.
Yeah, 'cause it's like, okay, I can't tell if this is your grieving face or not, or if it's.
It's just forever
I was
frozen.
grieving in real life.
Oh, you're gonna have to show me that scene, Kyle, when we're off air of her running away with shotgun.
And
If I could find it.
okay, and then there was like the other stuff that we got, I think in prep, that was sort of like the scene when Aaron dies, and then like they both fall over because like Aaron falls over, and then,
Yeah.
like, Kyle falls over, and then Alex was just being, because she was like, wait, and then Aaron, and she like,
Yeah. That was, I
that
think
was funny.
boot camp was definitely one of the most memorable times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we got to have fun there. I guess because when it was cold, we didn't get to like be as silly. But when we were in boot camp, like when I had to choose between Kyle and Aaron. I was like, Aaron, no, my killer.
What?
Syndrome, everybody.
It was pretty funny.
Oh, how funny is that? Oh man, that's good times right there. You guys are suffering for your art. That's right.
Yeah.
Worth it. Worth it.
There you go.
Definitely worth.
So let's talk about the mask a little bit. Inspirations, Kyle.
All right. So again, when we from the original comic, one of the villains actually gouged out Mark's eyes. So when I was going through that, looking at the comic, and he writes on his sunglasses "dead bird," and I just thought, can I do this? Can I get away with doing this in 2020? I looked at Jazz like, I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna work, and I do want the gouged eyes, but I did not know exactly what type of mask I want. So I was going through, okay, he's a police officer, and Jazz and I were going back and forth about it, saying, if he's a dead police officer, would he been a SWAT member, and could he get away with the ballistic mask? And we said maybe that could work. And then once we had the ballistic mask idea, I started looking up Chinese and Asian influence like mask, and as you put it, Samurai, which was the Five Deadly Venoms. Now that I really watched Five Deadly Venoms, I was like, oh yeah, now that makes sense, because the way the mask that I looked up at was more or less like almost like a samurai mask, but at the same time it was more Chinese, because like the color, we definitely wanted the color to be more Asian influence too, where I had to figure out, okay, what color would be Asian influence, and apparently gold and silver in Chinese culture means spirit. So we were like, okay, let's put that, and it had to look like very more like darker, but not too dark to the point where everything else. And not only that, I needed a more like, I was looking up inspirations of how the mask needed to look. So again, looking at metal bands, Slipknot's guitarist Jim Root was one of them. His mask, exactly like that, is a prime example of like the progenitors of the jawline literally not being present and just having the face covered. And then when Static X came back, we have Zero's mask, which really was more form fitted and just needed to be exactly what we wanted. Yeah. And originally during prep, when Jazz and I were talking about this, and I know she'll slap me if I don't mention this, which was, I wanted to figure out exactly like, not just a ballistic mask, what did the mask had to represent too? And I threw out like during prep, like maybe Isabel painted it when she was little and then gave it to him at the time. And she's like, that was a good idea. And I never put it in the script. And then
the first draft, I was like, that was there. That's such a good like story thing. And then it just wasn't in the script. I'm like, that should be in the script.
until we got to the final draft before shooting, which we were discussing it because she wanted to bring that line back in a way that it connected both Mark and Isabel together. So we actually started talking because of I personally did not like the original lines that were written for for Mark and Isabel saying their goodbyes. So we had to figure out something else. And then when she proposed to bring the mask back, and I was like, okay, that could definitely work.
Yeah, it worked. That was a good scene.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those like, we didn't have a lot of like, they didn't really have a lot of scenes together because the whole movie he's trying to find her. So we had to build their relationship sort of in the background or sort of more subtly like that. So him wearing the mask the whole time, when you find out that, there's just this really sort of subtle nod that she was the one who made it for him.
Yeah.
Suddenly it makes so much sense why he put it on, because he thought she was dead.
Yeah.
Right.
So it made sense.
That was great.
So important.
That was a great scene. And you know, a short film does its job when you want more. You know what I mean? And right after it was over, I was like, two guns and knife fighting and the shotgun. I wanted more, but that means how good of a good job you guys did. But
and definitely like Jazz brought up this too. Like when we were watching all the original films, including the sequels, we discussed.
I don't know what you're talking about. Those movies don't exist.
Right? We discussed the fact that in the sequels, why are they still using the same face paint? That is the actual face paint of Eric Draven and Brandon Lee, and we just kept figuring out like, okay, this has to be different in its own character. And then we definitely wanted sort of a homage to the original mask. So when you really look at the gouged eyes, I even proposed to Jazz when we were like looking at the appliance that maybe it's how like when he stabbed me in the eyes, gouged them out, like that's how you get the accents, the original accents right on the eyes. Right. And then you get the sort of the smile when my character gets shot and the mask comes off. So you get that slight half smile. So there is like a subtle homage. And even when you really watch the original film too, we wanted that sort of feel of like the mask was coming off even more and more, because throughout the film you see Brandon Lee's original mask just slowly coming off, and here it's like, okay, that piece is shot off, now this piece gets shattered from the fight, and now you just don't see a mask and just his eyes now. And we wanted to really have the audience feel like that you've seen this one thing, it's horrific, but now it's like it's all coming off to the point like it doesn't mean it's horrific. It's more or less like you're feeling so much sympathy and that connection to Mark that he's literally giving his all, but we don't want him to die in this portion because we now have connected with him.
Copy that. Yeah, it was very, very well done. That was awesome. Got some shots here. Let's look at some behind the scenes shots.
Yes, here. So that's our stunt coordinator, our awesome stunt coordinator, Daryl Patchett, came from Toronto to do the first 2 days, going over an action where Lauren is infiltrating the nightclub, the big ass nightclub that we have. What's with me in big nightclubs, Jazz? It's like this nightclub has all these things in here.
Yeah, but it's like a gangster nightclub, okay? They have all the money.
All the money to make all these things in there. But no, Daryl Patchett was awesome to work with. We actually like discussed with him beforehand, and he just worked with us so well that we got everything that we needed with him working with us up for the 2 days. And then when COVID started like getting to be a big issue, he was grounded back then, and we had Kristen Swatsky who came out to help us out too, and she was awesome.
Nice.
And like
cool.
It really worked out.
So shot there.
Here's Lauren infiltrating the storage room to find the clue later on, which then she gets caught by Raymond and his henchmen, which this is definitely in the beginning of the film where Brent, who plays Ken, vows to find Isabel while Lauren tells him like Chinatown is dangerous and just be careful because they won't treat you the same like how Mark and I used to work the beat, and even she is still not treated as equal as Mark was. So this was definitely when Raymond actually captures Lauren in the scene, and we discussed the scene that would the audience understand that this is sort of part of Jazz. Did we say this was part of Mark and Caitlin's plan for her to get caught, even though it was like, yep, it's cutting it real close to the point where she's gonna get killed here, but it was something.
Yeah, we did talk about how that was like part of the plan, because last time she's like, "You're late."
Nice. Like, we got some more behind the scenes here.
Yeah, definitely. This was when she finds the clue. You see Sheldon, our great sound guy, and our great Steadicam operator, Pedro. He was just really awesome, like helping make like 3 shots into one. So you can rarely like see that like all these shots were coming together. And there's Daryl, who I blame for making this film happen. But no, Daryl, our DOP, is the most awesome guy ever. Like he makes the film look as beautiful as we always wanted, and I couldn't ask for a better DOP.
Yeah, that was one of the things that really stood out to me, was how good the movie looked, really. Mm-hmm. Like the cinematography of the movie is really good.
Yeah.
And all the stuff at night looked really good at night.
Yeah.
It's hard to shoot at night.
Oh yeah.
You know, a lot of people use that day for night bullshit,
Yeah.
which doesn't look right. You can tell they're filming in the day, and they just put a blue filter over it. It's nighttime, you know. But yeah, the movie looks really good, man. Like very, very impressed with that. And we have the boy band here.
Yep, the K-pop band, Aaron and Raymond with Yinan and Jason, the Smuggle Boys.
The Smuggle Boys.
When's the album dropping, Aaron?
Probably next weekend. You know.
Nice, yeah. We Love to Cut You is the hit single. Yeah, badass shot right there. Love that shot. Pretty badass. I can dig it. Got some more here. Oh, the stare down. What?
Yeah, the full stare down. Like
what?
We definitely wanted this scene to have that impact where Jazz and I discussed the scene back then where what if we wanted Isabel to stare down at the guy that murdered her parents and not only that, like, is she gonna make a move here or is she not? Because she wouldn't be able to. They wouldn't be able to escape, so that's why she waits outside. But we definitely wanted that moment to show that Isabel is definitely gonna try and take her revenge fully on Eddie in some part way.
Nice. I think some of the motivation here for Alex's acting is she's just like, you know, Aaron, if you drop that knife one more time. You know, it's gonna be me and you, buddy. Okay.
Honestly,
how did you know?
Honestly, that was them 100% every time on set. Just them shit talking each other, and I'm just like, do I just separate you two? But no,
it's like, come on, Alex, come, give me a hit right here. Come on.
we were
It worked out really well.
getting into
carried up
character.
to the film, so it's like.
Yeah.
What'd
I
you
was
say,
just
Alex?
mad at Aaron for stabbing me in the face during practice.
yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Oh no!
He stabbed her in the face by accident. He actually stabbed me
Twice.
Oh no!
twice in the rib.
Where did he stab you, Alex? Where?
Yeah, in the face when
Well,
he's supposed
where?
to. When he's supposed to grab me by the neck,
Yeah.
the knife
Oh.
would always like hit me in the face.
Oh no!
He didn't know to flip the knife so that it was against somebody's neck. He just had it like. Wait, I have a screwdriver here. Why? Don't ask me. He had it like this.
Why?
Around the neck like this, as opposed to turning his wrist.
Oh, I
So it
see.
Poked her in the
Okay.
cheek. as
Oh
opposed to
no!
going there. That's what happened.
Or he was just, you know, being method. You know.
Or he was
He
just
definitely
always.
was.
he
As
wanted
always.
to like make you match your dad, right?
Exactly.
This great shot right there.
Yeah, it's just giving
Love
you that free makeup, you know.
I really appreciate it.
I don't think this one needs much more of an explanation. That shot doesn't need much of an explanation. We definitely wanted. This one was definitely an interesting shot we had to do because Daryl was in the van with every one of the actors and then had to follow them out without slipping because the van was slippery and the storage container. And then not only that, Alex had to kick towards the camera. Not kick the camera, but I don't think you actually kicked the camera though, surprisingly. But
Yeah.
We worked on spacing.
I like this shot too. This is a good part of the movie.
that
I like the dialogue here was great.
yeah, because we definitely wanted that kind of moment between Caitlin and Mark, like, oh, so this was your plan. Great job. Like, I was like, now's not the time. Did you get any information? But definitely that shot is just like, well, we're in this situation. Great job. Yep. It's just mostly that.
And of course, my favorite. When you guys were
Fight
throwing down, that was good stuff.
I will definitely praise Jazz for doing the fight choreography with our
Woo!
friend Justin.
Jazz, you rock.
Because
Thank
like she understood like what exactly we needed in this fight, the whole fight scene, and that's why we do a boot camp and a fight camp, is so that way Alex, Aaron, Lauren all got together, basically became a family, so that way once we're filming, it's not like any egos would get like hurt or anything like that. If they got hurt, that's like, okay, you good? Keep continuing on the scene though, because they need to learn how to actually act proper. Not like that one time Jazz and I did this one short, no, not even a short film, this other film that we stunk right in, and this actor did not give any sound. Like this actor gets stomped and she just goes, we're like, he just got stomped on the stomach. Like, we're supposed to hear, oh God. But no, but everyone just had this like great energy to want to keep going. And the fact that everyone worked together, Jazz knew exactly how they were going to move and how to choreograph to their abilities. And
so, Jazz, you choreographed everything in the finale, like Lauren's fight and Alex. Oh man, how cool is that? That is awesome.
Thank you.
But yeah, that was one of my favorite things about the movie was everybody got it. Everybody threw down.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely we planned that from the beginning.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah,
and I didn't like. My sort of method is that I don't really like solidifying choreography until I can see the actors. So part of my auditioning process, or at least something that I'm trying to implement now, is to do a movement assessment, just so I can actually see what you can sell. Because I don't want to give you a move that's so advanced that you can see it in your face when you're acting it, because then you can't act it. Because you're like, am I going to screw the move up? So I'd rather give you something easier so that you can like really sell the emotion of it. Yeah, so that was definitely something that I took into account as we were choreographing stuff. And sometimes it was just sort of like, okay, I do have a cool sort of idea, but I'll just see if the actor's comfortable with it.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Who edited the movie?
So we have a new editor that literally came out of nowhere that Daryl suggested. He's straight out of high school, and his name is Nathan Flores, and the kid is a prodigy. Like, he knew how to edit and color grade the film, like looking exactly like that. And me and him, we were actually right during pandemic. We were all in lockdown, and me and him sat down through here and we talked about how I needed the film. And just like how everyone else prepped for their role, I gave him the welcome package of like, here's the original comic, here's the actual comic that we're basing it off of, here's SPL Paradox, the whole theme of the film that we're following. And usually I always did edits. Like, I was up all night before the next day editing the film, so that way we wouldn't have to shoot anything else the next day. Like, oh, we missed this shot. So I would have all that ready and then have a director's cut. And then I would give it to Nathan to say, okay, we could cut this down. This could be extended, switch this around. Maybe this will work. And he did a great job editing with me to make sure that we got that full emotion behind the whole film.
Nice. And shout out to both of you. And I'm going to use this moment as a perfect segue right here. Hey, filmmakers of Snake Eyes. Hey, do you could see the action? Hey, editor of Snake Eyes, camera guy of Snake Eyes, you could see the action. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Sorry, I had to take time out.
Going back on that.
Talking about that, actually.
Sorry, I had to take time out to throw some shots.
No, it wasn't even that. Like, so during boot camp, we actually started previzing, and previzing is where we actually shoot the fight scene, how it would be shot on the day, so we're not wasting time later on. So we actually set up the shots, exactly what movements. Jazz and I would work it out with Daryl to know, okay, we need this shot to see this whole movement with the whole body, see, make sure this knee is like hitting towards that Aaron's knee there, and just so that way it's swinging up to see the kick being slapped down, and then the elbow connecting to Aaron's face. That
was dope.
It's definitely part of the action direction part of it. Like, most of that part of it, like the action direction happens during previs. Just have to get like subtle like emotional tweaks on the day, but most of it happens during the previs, because I was, me and Kyle and Daryl were all sitting there working out how is your camera movement going to fit in, because Daryl, as the camera person, is part of the choreography, so he needed to know the choreo just as well as everybody else. And there were some times, because he would be like, oh, I know a kick is coming because we worked it out with him. So there was like a split second where he would start to move and then he would catch the kick perfectly, because we practiced with him so that we could catch it.
And not only that, both Jazz and I, when we had the previs done and when we would edit the film later on, I would check with her to make sure, like, okay, is this fight scene locked in a sense before we give it to the editor, because we wanted exactly not to what we had like in the previs. Yes, we did, but there were certain moments that, like, could this be extended or not? And it was all timing, so that way the audience still gets invested emotionally and everything else, what they're seeing, which we don't overextend on like certain shots. And then once we gave it to the editor, we said, this has to stay the way it is, not compared to like everyone else that says, oh yeah, because 8711, who has done John Wick and every other Hollywood films, you see like how they made the John Wick films and stuck to their previzes.
Right.
And shout out to Brett Chan, who's gonna be hopefully winning an Emmy for Warrior. He prevized all those fight scenes in Warrior, and it ended up looking exactly what it looks like with the editor knowing. So basically, we need to make sure that our editor knew how the previz was, but also how we edited the fight scene the way it's supposed to be, and not chopped up like.
Because it's sort of like it's just disheartening to see you have these amazing performers that are like physically, like they spent so much time training and then to get it like perfectly done, and then if you're there on the day, you're like, that was amazing, and then they just screw it up in editing, and you're like, how dare you disrespect these performers this way?
And that's when I said in my Snake Eyes review for the film, I called it out. I showed them in training. The camera work of them in training looked perfectly fine. It looked beautiful. And then you go watch the movie, you're like, oh, okay, well, they just botched all of that. So the reason why I was kind of chuckling over here to myself while you're talking, so Kyle, if you're bored, you know what you should do? Make a Hollywood cut of the Crow Night Watch.
It would be one.
Put in fake shaky cam during the fight.
It would be 1 second.
It would be 1 second?
It would be 1 second. Just like, and then next thing you know, everyone's just like, what the fuck just happened? It's like, that is what happens when the studio takes over your film and fucks it up.
No, except you can't even do this because you wouldn't even see it. It would be like, out of frame.
It'd be like,
oh my god, that was bouncing in my head the whole time. I was just like chuckling over here. You're probably like, what is he laughing at? But yeah, Hollywood cut of the Crow Night Watch would be hilarious. Instead of 3 moves, it's just one. When you and Aaron come together,
it was just like run, elbow, and then somehow he kicks me down, and then we get Warren right in there.
You got to put in the fake shaky cam though.
Yes.
You got to do
no
that.
impact shots at all.
No impact shots. Shake the camera.
Oh, well, this was wonderful talking with all of you guys and having you here as guests. It's an honor to have you here. Alex, are you still with us?
Yeah.
Okay. She's still mad at Aaron. I understand. Yeah, it's awesome having you here. And again, suffering for your art, poor things out there in the cold, but hey, look at the results, right? And I'm sure everybody had a blast creating, being creative, acting, performing, training, filmmaking. And that's what it's all about. And, I'm very happy for you guys' success, and I did enjoy it a lot, and I keep telling people about it. They need to check it out. And that's why we did this stream today. I get to talk to the people involved and spread the good news out there. And other filmmakers or upcoming filmmakers, hey, take a look at the Crow Night Watch, all right? Especially aspiring ones that only have their phone, but they're getting the itch. Just like Alex got the itch to act. They're getting the itch. Hey, we want to start making movies. Hey, watch the Crow Night Watch. All right, it's going to inspire you.
You just reminded me that when you said the Hollywood cut, what if I told you guys that there was another cut of this film?
Aha!
Oh right, I remember that one.
Do tell, my friend.
So, as when we were shooting it, or even before that, I was wondering, how would this film look in black and white? So when we were done editing it, I looked at the whole film. I was like, it looks good with the color grading and everything else. But then I was like, let's go back with that idea. And then, you ready, Samurai?
Yeah.
Let's
take a sneak peek of what Kyle's talking about.
A highly respected member of the Winnipeg Police Service, Sergeant Mark Leung and his wife Anita have been murdered in their home. Their daughter Isabel has also been reported missing.
You probably have less than 48 hours before Isabel is sold off.
They are going to know soon. And when they do, We need to grab everyone who is willing and able to fight back.
You don't know what real pain is.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Monochrome. Love
So,
it.
definitely a black and white version. Well, you won't get a Jared Leto talk about society scene, but it's the exact same film, but in black and white. But
Yeah.
it feels emotionally, it feels very different when you watch it in black and white.
Yeah.
And we are very proud of it. Like, we are
Yeah,
definitely proud of
it's
this film.
different.
It definitely is different. So, and someone did ask where you could find it. So you could go to vimeo.com/blackice140/nightwatch. And then for the monochrome cut, just add monochrome after nightwatch. And I believe, Samurai, you have the link in the description.
That's right. It's in the description box, guys. Check it out. It's for free. That's right. It's free, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
it's free.
Yeah,
free.
So it's
for
free.
everyone.
Share
And
it. Get it out there. Share
out
it.
there.
That's right.
We
Marco
thank you
G
all.
says, beautiful knife work. Look at that. Aaron,
Yeah,
look at that.
exactly.
Got some fans here.
Yep.
Thanks.
Alex is like, yeah.
But you didn't see it in recap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why everyone thinks Aaron is so great.
So,
I'm just kidding. He is. He's an amazing actor. So fun to work with. We had a lot
Same
of
here.
good times.
Same with you too.
I think we had a lot of good times. Like I think
did.
we
A lot.
bonded.
yeah.
Mhm.
I got to watch that monochrome cut, man.
Hmm.
It's
And I
good.
have a feeling I'm actually going to like it better. So, which is
Fair.
awesome. I definitely got to check it out. I'm already digging it in the trailer. I like it. I can dig. This is going to be an awesome version. Make sure you guys check it out. And again, I don't want to keep you guys too much. I know you guys are
good.
busy. You got parties to do. You got vacations. You got rest. Alec needs a rest.
Yep.
That's right. Kyle, you ain't doing nothing.
I'm always busy.
But yeah, thanks again for all of you hanging out here with the Samurai
Thank you for
today
having us.
and talking movies. Make this your second home. We always tell our guests this. Make this your second home. Come on back whenever you guys feel like it. Just call me. I'll be like, I want to come on the show now. I'm like, all right, make it happen.
Yeah,
But,
you
yeah,
you
it was
talk
awesome
Aaron
to have
about
you
why
guys.
Toy Story is his best movie.
That's right. Toy Story, yes.
Toy Story.
I love
But
Toy
yeah,
Story.
Alex, Jasmine, Aaron, Kyle, always a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
See you
as
guys in the
always.
future. I'm sure you
Yep.
guys will be here back. So chat, Movie Dojo Army, make sure you check out the Monochrome cut. Watch the movie, enjoy it, share it. Keep watching movies. And speaking of movies, we're going back to horror. And all you horror comedy fans, join me and Lindsay tomorrow at 4 p.m. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be a hilarious time.
He just wants his machete back.
Is Jason X really that bad? Join us tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to be having fun talking movies, going back to the horror genre. We love action, martial arts, and horror here. That's how we do it. And keep watching movies, keep being yourselves, keep being badasses, keep knife training. Just don't drop it like Aaron. And we'll see all you badasses next time. Take care, guys. Don't go anywhere, guys. See you guys later.
Yeah.